War games like King of Avalon are the type of games where only the strongest survive. Once you download this title and start a new account, you're in a race against time to bolster your defenses, raise your armies, and prepare your city for when your Shield of Peace fades and you become a target for the strongest players in your vicinity. It is for this reason that we always say that the first few days in a war game are the most important, as you will either lay the foundations for a strong city or fade away if you're not strong enough to survive the first attacks. And today, I'm going to walk you through how to play this awesome war game. My name is Dylan J. Fox. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you do enjoy, and let's get right into this. So first of all, you're going to need to install BlueStacks, our state-of-the-art Android emulator. To do this, I've linked a download for the installer in the description down below. You're going to want to click to download, run the installer, and then launch BlueStacks. Sign to your Google Play Store account and then search King of Avalon. Click the icon and then install the game. Then once the app is installed, click once more to launch the game and start playing. Once you're in, you'll notice that the game has a lot of unique potential features that you can take advantage of when using BlueStacks. The BlueStacks multi-instance and sync features. With BlueStacks, multi-boxing in your favorite games becomes a reality, as through the Instance Manager you can create multiple instances of our emulator and use each of them to access the same game using a different Google account. For King of Avalon, this means you can have several cities in the same server and use them to support each other in their ongoing war efforts. Whether in times of strife or moments of peace, having multiple cities in this war game is often much better than limiting yourself to just having one. However, the more instances you have, the tougher it will be to keep track of all your cities, since you'll need to perform the same mundane tasks in every city, but of course throughout all of your active instances. Especially at the beginning, we need to create many production buildings and continually upgrade them. You'll be clicking on the same tiles and issuing the same projects hundreds of times in a short period, which can get really tedious. Luckily, alongside the Instance Manager, you'll also find the Multi-Instance Sync feature, another of our powerful BlueStacks tools that can help you mirror your clicks and other actions performed in one instance across all of your other active instances. In this sense, when you construct a building on your main instance, BlueStacks will do the same across all of your others, which can significantly improve the way in which you develop multiple cities in this wargame. However, one other key tool you can utilize to your advantage in King of Avalon is the ability to use macros. Now you might be thinking, what are macros and why do I need them? Simply put, macros are sequences of command that you can record and reproduce at any moment with the press of a button. While the concept of macros is certainly nothing new in the world of video games, BlueStacks takes them even further by allowing you to customize and configure your macro with a myriad of options, including the possibility of making your macros run as soon as BlueStacks starts, which significantly increases the degree of automation that they provide. For King of Avalon, a game where you must repeat the same task throughout your entire experience, macros allow you to automate the most boring aspects of its gameplay. This means no more upgrading buildings a bazillion times, no manually harvesting your production buildings, no more sending out troops to gather. In essence, you'll handle the fighting, which is arguably the most entertaining aspect of King of Avalon, while BlueStacks just runs your town for you. And since we've already talked about our Instance Manager and multi-sync features, you'll be glad to know that our macros work across all of your active instances if you have sync switched on. If you're running multiple instances, you can automate your gameplay across all active windows using the Instance Sync combined with our BlueStacks macros. When used correctly, you can streamline your gameplay in King of Avalon, develop multiple towns simultaneously, and become a one-man army. Useful macros for King of Avalon. However, there's a big caveat when it comes to using macros, which is that you have to configure them first. Luckily though, if you don't know where to start, here are a few suggestions for macros that'll make your life in King of Avalon much easier. For example, one useful instance is logging in automatically upon running BlueStacks. While harvesting your production buildings only usually takes a few seconds, this macro is great because it automatically allows you to launch King of Avalon without having to click on the app icon on the home screen, and in doing so, it'll do that automatically. This means that if you have a slower computer, you can just boot up BlueStacks and leave to do anything else. When you return, you'll come back to your town awaiting your orders. Creating this macro, however, requires a bit of know-how, so here's a rundown on how to do it. Go to the home screen and start the recorder. With the recorder running, click on King of Avalon and wait for the game to boot up. This next part's optional, but once you're in town, scroll down to your production buildings and harvest their resources. This will of course allow those production buildings to always be harvested basically when you log in. Then you're going to want to stop the recorder and give the macro a name. Since we want this macro to run on startup, click on the gear icon beside it, and tick the box that reads execute macro when the player starts. With this macro ready, every time you open up BlueStacks, the emulator will automatically open up King of Avalon, optionally harvest your resource buildings, and give back control to you so you can start playing. Just a reminder, this is just one example of how utilizing a macro can greatly improve your time playing the game. Another great example is to send the troops to gather any resource on the world map. Any self-respecting gamer that's familiar with war games knows the importance of resources. Without these materials, you'd be stuck farming for enough resources to build an upgrade, research a technology, or train more troops, among other tasks, which of course can slow down your progress to a crawl and make the gameplay a complete slog. A good way to keep your storehouse full, however, is by consistently sending your troops out to gather from the world map. From food and lumber to iron and other items, you can find literally anything on the map, which makes it one of the greatest source materials in the game. In this sense though, making a macro to automate this aspect is not only useful, it's necessary if you want to win at King of Avalon. Now here's some step-by-step instructions on how to create this macro. Go to your main city and start the recorder. With the recorder running, exit to the world map and use the search function to find a viable resource point. Once you find a spot, click on it and send your troops to gather. From there, you're going to want to return to your city screen, stop the recorder, and give your macro a name and key binding. One recommendation I do have when labeling this macro is to make sure you specify which resource you're gathering with it. If possible, I'd even say to try to make a macro for every resource type so you can go and gather any type of material with the press of a single button. And with that, that's the video. Hopefully the short tutorial has helped you out some with getting your journey in King of Avalon started. If it did, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more mobile gaming guides. My name is Dylan J. Fox, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.